What's up guys, this is Christian with Ford Momentum. If you didn't already know, I have a supercharged manual swapped limited slip diff Lexus GS400 right there behind me. Now one thing I want to point out before I get this episode going is you can see that I have a cold air intake that is set up going into the fender well on this car. What you will also notice is that I actually blocked off the MAF port on this Aristo TT tube, and I went back to the OEM MAF tube, which I have mounted out of the heat source and sort of towards the fender well. I had to do a wire extension on it. I will do a future episode on the intake setup. This episode here is about this MAF and how to clean it. When somebody describes a problem online, that is like the first thing that everyone suggests is clean your MAF. I don't know why guys are so set on that being the default. The good news is there's really nothing wrong with cleaning your MAF. It could restore some responsiveness, but generally speaking, when your MAF goes out of range, it's gonna throw a DTC or a check engine light and tell you that it's out of range. There's nothing wrong with having things operate optimally. I mean, a lot of these cars are approaching a quarter century old at the time of this filming. So I happen to have two MAFs. I have one on the car, and then I have an OEM one that I got a while back for some testing purposes. I have not cleaned this one. I have cleaned that one. And today on this episode, I'm going to show you how to clean this MAF, and I'm also going to show you with a borescope if it actually makes a difference inside of there. Okay, because we have a hot wire MAF here. They're very sensitive to getting all gummed up and dirty. I did run a K&N air filter previously, a panel filter. Despite all the arguments about K&N filters, really the problem is when you over oil a K&N air filter, it does tend to gum up your MAF. It's not really K&N's fault. They have lots of papers and studies about how it's really not going to happen if you oil it properly. Potentially, I over-oiled my panel filter at some point, and I think this one's pretty dirty. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on the borescope what this thing looks like. It probably has, I'm going to guess, about 120,000 miles on it. I don't think it's ever been cleaned before, and then we're going to see the before and after. It really doesn't matter what mass airflow sensor cleaner you use as long as it is mass airflow sensor cleaner. There's Gum Out. I believe there's one called CRC. There's some others. They're not terribly expensive. It's less than 10 bucks for a can. Let's take a before look at this MAF right now. All right, hopefully you guys can see that hot wire down in there. I'll also put a before and after photo so that you guys can see. Let's just go ahead and snap a quick photo here. I put the red straw on the MAF cleaner. I'm going to hold it straight up and down, and I'm not going to jam the straw down in there. I'm just going to spray in there. So you want to let it drain onto a towel. Sometimes I hold it upside down and spray it in. Okay, that should be good. Stuff stinks, by the way. I'm going to let it dry out for a minute, and then we'll do another borescope and see what it looks like in there. And there you have it. One quick disclaimer I have about GS400s, the seal, there's a rubber seal, or some people call it an O-ring that goes around them. Do not lose that. The dealer does not have that part any longer. So make sure that when you take these out that you keep that O-ring with it. I believe you can get replacements for the 300 and 430s. But this MAF is different. It's not exactly the same as the 430s and 300s. It is a commonly talked about topic online when it comes to anything related to the car running poorly. And frankly, it's just good to have a can of that stuff around. Give it a go. Get your MAF cleaned. See if your car runs a little bit better. Check your gas mileage, that sort of thing. It's good to know this and to have the ability to clean your MAF whenever you need to. I wouldn't say that it's something you need to do that often, once every couple years probably. We have a lot of things coming up in future episodes We do have the headers. I still have them, and I'm still waiting on Jet Hot to get in the new facility so I can get those headers put in, and I'll probably film like a 2 or 3 part series on getting headers installed on these things because it's not fun. Possibly go over the intake setup with you, because you guys that don't have superchargers, as you know, it runs out of the front here and it elbows over, and then you could take it theoretically down into the fender well like that. But I will say, for you NA guys, the stock airbox is actually pretty good. I would not switch it out. So thanks for joining me, guys. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. See you on the next episode.